Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. I guess we're ready for the second part of this YSL trial. I don't even know what's going on anymore. I spoke to two people that are legally minded and know more than me, and both of them said they have no idea what's going on. Had no intention, did not think this was going to go on this long and be such a dumpster fire. I don't get it. I really don't. I'm really lost, but it is what it is. So I want to thank you all for coming back. Thank you to everybody who's been hanging out with us today. Really, this whole week has been really interesting. Court week. I mean, we've got a lot to see. We've got a chance to see what Judge Whitaker is about. And I think for the most part, most people are pleased with. They think that she should have gone ahead and called this case. And who knows what's going to end happening in the future. But most of us seem to be pleased with her as a judge, at least in that regard. And I think one of the reasons why we're pleased with Judge Whitaker is she's showing us what we kind of thought already about the state and the prosecutors, that they really don't have a case. Their case is not really as solid as they make it out to be. It's not as rock solid as they wanted it to be. So that's, I feel like, a really telling situation there, that the state, after all this time and all this work and all this man hours and money being wasted, have really just gotten, this is where they are. I told you we would have some fun, a little bit of not really meaning to be serious here. We are going to look at Black law students filing against Fulton County. I thought this was hilarious. But Black law student, been a great supporter of the channel, has filed an indictment against the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. So what does he say? The whole Twitter community versus Fonnie Willis, Oral Glanville, Adrian Love, Fulton County District Attorney's Office, and Simone Hilton. He made up a case number and everything. Bless his heart. All right, the indictment. Let's see. What do we have here? What is going on here? The Enterprise, because he's bringing them up on some RICO here. So the Enterprise, the Fulton County Star Chamber, the FCSC, is an enterprise consisting of a group of Black lawyers, judges associated, in fact, although not a legal entity. FCSC constitutes an ongoing organization whose members function as a continuing unit for the common purpose of achieving the objective of the enterprise in furthering their personal careers on the backs of Fulton County residents. The history of the FCSC is a criminal street gang started in late 2022. Black law student, you are out of control. This is so crazy. In the Fulton County Judicial Plaza, FCSC claims affiliation with professional Black people, but after research has been denied. FCSC founders were all Atlanta-based lawyers that made FCSC a well-known name by violating defendants' rights and holding secret ex parte meetings. Thus, the following indictment covers all listed crimes below. I don't know. I think he should maybe fill this out a little bit more. Give us a little bit more of the background. You don't have to like true gang leaders and stuff like that. But I think maybe just break us down a little bit more on the background, Black law student. All right. So there's several indictments here. There's almost 29 indictments. So let's go. Conspiracy to violate the Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organization Act. We know that to be RICO. Okay, I'm sorry. I got a little bit distracted checking out what President Not Perfect says. Oh, okay. Got you. That's fair. President Not Perfect said that Kayla confirmed that the card is always in court. It's not just in the view of the camera. That's fair. I can give it that. I just thought it was funny that it popped up today. Conspiracy to misuse the Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organization. I'm going to just call it RICO Act. Conspiracy to misuse the RICO Act to further their political career. Participation in criminal street gang activity. Participation in political weaponization, furthering personal career. Corruption of public office, breach of public duty or office, violation of the Georgia rules of professional conduct, violation of all of Georgia professional conduct. How are these different? Rules of professional conduct and all of the professional conduct. It seems like these two are the same ones. Violation of the United States Constitution, violation of the United States Constitution, Sixth Amendment, violation of defendants' rights under the Confrontation Clause, violation of defendants' rights to a fair trial under the Sixth Amendment, violation of defendants' rights to an impartial under the Sixth, I think it means impartial jury or trial rather, under the Sixth Amendment. Violation of the United States Constitution, Fifth Amendment. Violation of defendants' rights under Due Process Clause. Violation of the defendants' rights to a speedy trial under the Sixth Amendment. Violation of the Georgia Constitution. Participation in hiding exculpatory evidence from defendants. False imprisonment under the Georgia Code. Participation in influencing a witness. Violation of the United States Code, Title, whatever that is. Violation of the United States Witness Tampering Codes. Violation of Georgia law tampering with a witness. Group participation in giving a witness invalid legal advice. Participation in violating defendants under Rule 43 to be present during critical states of the trial. Abuse of the ex parte meeting, having ex parte meetings without defense, participation in criminal street gang activity. Is that it? That's it. Did you sign at the bottom? So this was Black law student wrote an indictment against the Fulton County DA's office. I thought this was out of control. So if you wonder what I was reading, I'm just going over the whole Twitter community versus Fonnie, Earl, Adrian Love, Simone, and all of the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. This was a little indictment. I don't want to say it's a mock-up, but it was an indictment written by a Black law student, and we appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. Back to this. I don't know where this is going to go. I have to admit, I have zero clue where this trial is going. It looks like Judge Whitaker is trying her best to get this thing back on track as best she can. And, hat tip to her for trying her best. I think she's trying. I do think it's showing again. Though the defense is talking a lot more today, I think a lot of it does go back and look at the offense, the prosecution, because they don't seem like they know what they're doing. I think it's telling, and I don't want to keep holding out hope like, oh, she's going to do the right thing, because I'm like, we will see. She is legit, though. She's legit trying not to quit. I agree. I think Sis Wit is trying her best not to quit, and the defense is like, whatever. But the prosecution, they are doing their best to. I think they are literally trying to scuttle their own case. Trying to goad us into it. I really, at this point in the game, would like to know, like, what did Jeffrey Williams do to be in this? What has he done? Because I think that's the question that the judge should ask. Like, at this point, what are your facts of what this gentleman has done to, or any of these gentlemen really have done? Sure, bad things have been going on, but can you tell me which one of these gentlemen are responsible for those bad things? And then let's go ahead and get one of them at least, two of them at least, in the where they need to be. Because it just doesn't seem like it makes any sense at this point. I mean, remember, she just had Meg Thee Stallion up twerking for her presidential decency is on the ballot campaign. So, I mean, there's a lot of, she's got a lot of problems. So I will take that for sure, but it's not that she doesn't have more other problems to worry about. What is going on with Brando's up in the building? What is happening? I was watching Professor Nez last night, And it is interesting to see the difference in temperament in Glanville versus Whitaker. Oh, I agree 1,000%. That's not even a real thing. But yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Whitaker wants work done. I don't know if Glanville wanted work done, but Glanville's camaraderie and familiarity with people was overruling his ability to run this court case. Because I'm telling you right now, I feel comfortable in saying Judge Whitaker's gotten more done this week than Glanville has done in quite some time. Hour upon hour, I think she's got him beat. Wait, it's the ethics. There's definitely ethics questions on the table. And I do think that Fani and Kamala do, in that regard, do want to probably keep their parades from crossing one another. Totally get that. Oh, this is a working list, so the prosecution might be like, that's nobody's excuse. I'm sorry. Given the fact that I don't believe they've done much of anything, what they're bringing in here, and I could be wrong, like Black law student, let me know if I'm wrong. If I think Monica is involved in law as well. I don't know. Do they need to come up with like a day schedule and just say, thank you so much, President Not Perfect. Thank you so much, brother. Grace and peace. I don't know if they need to come up with a day schedule. And what I mean by that is, as a former school teacher, you know, at the end of the quarter, these kids need to learn this, and this. There's a couple topics, some heavy lifting that they're going to need to do. There's MAP testing, there's standardized testing coming, whatever like that. So then you work backwards from there. And so you make out a plan. And many of our teachers have like lesson plans planned out all the way to Thanksgiving because they already know what they want to teach. And they already have the remediation planned, and they already have acceleration planned, and homework is already laid out. And it's arduous and it's nerve wracking because you got all these books that you're going through. So as a teacher, you're planning this stuff out, sometimes quarter by quarter, but definitely for the week. If there's a science lesson that you're going through or science curriculum that you're going through, and you know that it's going to end with this large project, the diorama, the shoebox diorama. Okay. I actually love doing those, by the way. Those are a lot of fun. Most of y'all know what the shoebox diorama is. So you work backwards from what you want the kids to learn so that they can demonstrate their learning with the shoebox diorama. And to me, I feel like the prosecution needs to do this. Like, do you have a plan of attack so that at any moment, so any week of my lesson plan, my principal was able to say, what did your kids learn this week? And I could show them the Friday assessment. I could show them the spelling test. I could show them the temp check. I could show them all these little things that demonstrated that my students learned something this past week. And then the following week would be the same thing, but it would build off of the week previous. And every week, the assessments get a little bit more detailed. The information, the artifacts, so forth, get a little bit more intricate, but they're built off of the ones prior to me. But I don't think this prosecution has anything even in that ballpark. I don't think they have any plan to say, if we poll the jury on this day, and this is just me, again, I'm a pre-K law student. I know nothing. All I am is a retired classroom teacher. And I'm looking at this and it's giving, as my daughters like to say, it's giving that you're not prepared. Okay. It's giving that you're filibustering. I don't know what they're doing. And I personally think that's what Judge Whitaker is expecting. She's expecting them to have their ducks in a row. She's expecting them to say, hey, if you do a temp check of the jury on this day, they will have learned that this person bought the gun, this person drove the car, this person pulled the trigger. And then the next week, now we know that this person drove the car because we have this evidence. We know this person drove the car, rented the car or bought the car because we have this information. And we know this person pulled the trigger because of this. It's like building upon each other. Right now, they're all over the place, everywhere. We over here in jail calls. We over here on Cleveland Avenue. We over here at at the hospital. We are everywhere but in this courtroom convicting these 6 men of something. At this current moment, I don't even think she could convict these men that they got dreadlocks. Okay. I don't even think they could convince me that Young Thug has dreads. That's how bad this case is. Let me find a picture and just see, like, Young Thug don't even have dreads following this. Like, they can't even prove it. Prove to me. Okay, we're going to have like a meta moment. I'm going to pull in a clip. I'm going to pull in a video from my previous video from earlier. So it's actually earlier in the show. I don't think that this prosecution could convince me that that man has dreadlocks. That's how bad this case is. Prove to me that man has dreadlocks. Prove to me that this dude has that hat on that says, find your grind. I don't think they can prove it. That's how bad this is right now. Like, get your stuff together. At this current moment, this dude is bald headed. Like, I could go in here and say, Judge, Young Thug is bald, and the state could not prove otherwise. That's how bad this is. There's no cohesion. There's nothing that looks like we've thought this out. We have a well-ironed, well-executed plan. And again, maybe it's the way I'm approaching it. I know that the way that lawyers think is not the exact same way that the great unwashed handle it, which is fine. I totally understand that. I respect that there's differences in our professions. What I am saying, however, is where is the cohesion? Like, for crying out loud, if you took your car to a mechanic, the mechanic would probably have a plan of attack. Your car is making a weird sound, or there's smoke coming out, or the tires won't stay inflated. They have a checklist of things to do. And we could probably stop them at any moment and say, hey, Bob, where are you in this process? And Bob will say, hey, well, I already checked this. I've inspected that. And now I'm about to hook it up to the computer and see what the onboard computer says. So there's some steps. Now, maybe Bob is so adept and he's been a mechanic for so long. He's, oh, I know exactly what that problem is. He walks over exactly to this place and he makes the adjustment and fixes the problem. Well, that's fantastic, but that's because he's a master mechanic and he's shown and demonstrated, and he can show and prove that he can resolve the problem. I'm going to go on a limb. Fonnie Willis needs to remove these prosecutors and get people on here that can actually do this task, because I don't think she doesn't have people here that can do this task. I'm sorry, somebody needs to say it. Love and Hilton, and I think his name Atkins, the man that's between them. I'm sorry. If this is what they've been doing, they're demonstrating their complete and utter incompetence. For them to be doing this, it doesn't look good for Fulton County. I live here in Atlanta, and this is not a good look for us at all. Y'all are not going to let Glanville rest. And y'all have come up with some great, I really believe this. I do believe that the recused judge was really the lead prosecutor, the 13th juror. I do believe that, because it doesn't seem like, now it looks like this team doesn't have a star player. Who's the star player on the prosecution right now? Who would you say it is? Love, Hilton, Atkins? No, I wouldn't say any of them really know what really are leading this charge. Now, I think we could also flip on the other side and say, on the defense, who is the lead attorney? Who's the lead attorney? It would probably be like a toss-up between Steele and Shard, but we can definitely say the third member would be Weinstein for sure. It's Steele, Shard, Weinstein. They all seem to be working in concert pretty well to defend their clients against the state. Go back over to the state. Who's running the ship over here? Who would you say is a lead? If you didn't know their proper titles and know there was a particular lead there, who would you say it is? I don't know. I have no clue. And I feel like it's part and part is because Glanville was a part of this team. So now they're really missing their star player. They're missing their Kobe Bryant. They're missing their Michael Jordan because it was Glanville. I know. I think, yeah. And I think this is now coming to light. Third string. Right, but who would you say would be the cart? Y'all are out of control. The cart. We got to put you in 0-second timeout because you're wilding out. Ashley Merchant is the queen of case law. Now that is true. YSL grandpa. Oh, I love it. Get your behavior together, Shannon. You got to get your behavior together. You got to behave. But and just finishing it up before they come on, that's where I think and I'm not saying I want this case to go out because I just want it to go out and I want to be right or anything of that nature. It's so poorly executed. There's no reason to believe that justice is being served. It's kind of like, again, back to the classroom example. Sure, you got activity going on in your room, but there's no learning going on in your room. So we need to do something different because we can't just have activity. We just can't have people doing things and not actually learning what is needed to be learned. And I don't think that I'm not putting learning and justice on the exact same plane. I think you all get my point that I don't think justice is being served here in this courtroom. And maybe it'll go all the way to the jury. I don't know. At this point, I'm just taking my hands off the wheel and say, take the wheel, Jesus. I don't even know what's going on. But I think within reason, I think Judge Whitaker should declare a mistrial with prejudice because the state really truly has no idea what they're doing. Okay, lights are on. Let's go. We are back.
Hit that like for deal with Christian. Yo, for deal with Christian. Smash that bell for DWC. Yo, smash it. Just smash it. Hit that like for deal with Christian. For deal with Christian. Smash that bell for DWC. Yo, smash it. Just smash it. Hit that like for deal with Christian.